Installing peel and stick flooring in an RV looks simple, but it turned out to be one of the most time-consuming parts of our renovation. In this video, I'm showing the entire process, removing the old flooring, repairing and priming the subfloor, laying the planks, cutting around curves and corners, installing trim, and finishing edges in a space where nothing is square. If you're considering peel and stick flooring in an RV, this will give you a very realistic picture of what's involved. I've refinished hundreds of pieces of furniture over the years, but this time I'm taking those same skills on the road, literally. In this RV renovation series, I'm priming and painting everything from the walls and cabinets to the refrigerator and adding peel and stick flooring, backsplash, and wallpaper, all with a furniture refinisher's focus on prep and durability. You'll see what worked, what I'd do differently, and how to get great results, even in a small space. The first part of this project was all about removal and prep. That meant taking out the bed, removing the old carpet and linoleum, and then dealing with everything that was left behind so the new flooring would actually stick. Once the flooring was up, the real condition of the floor showed up. There was a lot of adhesive, plus nails and carpet tacks that all had to come out before moving forward. To fix the damaged areas, I used Bondo. It cures quickly, sands flat, creates a solid surface, and still has a little bit of flex, which is especially important in an RV where there's movement and temperature changes. Once everything was filled and dried and sanded and cleaned, the floor was finally ready for primer. Before I paint or install anything peel and stick in this RV, I'm priming. I normally reach for a shellac-based primer, but RVs are a completely different environment. So for this project, I'm using a bonding primer. The one I chose is designed to grab onto almost any surface. Vinyl, laminate, plastic, rubber, you name it. Basically everything you find inside an RV. Peel and stick flooring relies completely on adhesion, and this was about giving it the best possible surface to stick to long term. With the floor prepped and primed, the next step was planning the layout. This part matters more than it seems, especially in an RV where nothing is square and small errors will add up quickly. I used a chalk line to give myself a straight reference to work from. I measured in from each side at both ends to keep things as centered as possible, hammered in a couple of nails to wrap the chalk line around, and then snapped it. my chalk line, butt it right up. First 3 pieces down. It's actually pretty easy. Things stayed pretty simple until I started working around edges, curves, fixed obstacles, things like that. And that's where cutting becomes pretty important. I'll show you the tools I used and how I approached cuts, especially in tighter areas where nothing lines up perfectly. I use a ruler, a good cutting surface, and a sharp utility knife. This was also where I slowed down the most because once you start cutting, mistakes cost more time and material. Dry fitting the pieces before actually peeling off the backing and sticking them down is a really good idea. However, if you need to, they are able to be repositioned. You can lift them up and put them back down as needed. I just wouldn't do it too much. Once the flooring was all down, the focus shifted to finishing the edges, which turned out to be its own challenge. When I ordered the flooring, I didn't measure correctly and ended up actually ordering an entire box too many. And by the time I realized that, it was too late to return it. So I tried to do a bit of a better job ordering for the trim. And once I ordered it, the first size was a little bit too thick and large, actually. So then I looked to see if the trim that I had used around the backsplash area would work. And it was a little bit too thin. So, having this Goldilocks moment, I decided that I would order something right in between the sizes. And once that arrived, I got to work. I chose a rubber trim because I needed something that would flex and adhere tightly to uneven RV walls. Once I got started, the real work was figuring out the angles. There are a lot of inside and outside corners in an RV, and very few of them are a perfect 90 degrees. So my process was pretty repetitive. I'd hold the trim in place, mark the angle with a pencil, then cut it using a miter tool. Using a heat gun actually helped a lot. I'd warm the trim before installing it, and sometimes after if it was already in place, just to help it relax and conform better to the shape of the wall. Most of the time, the first cut wasn't perfect, so I'd adjust, trim it again, and test fit. This part definitely took some patience. So the flow here really was mark the angle, cut the piece, adjust if needed, heat it, install it, and then repeat that process over and over, working my way around the RV. Even with careful measuring and cutting, some of those corners still had small gaps. And that's just the reality of working in a small space like this. So once all the trim was installed, I went back and used silicone caulking in the corners to close up those gaps and tidy everything up. It wasn't fast, but working through it step by step made the finished edges feel clean and intentional. The last step was putting everything back together. We reinstalled the painted bed frame and replaced the floor vents in a coordinating color. If you're considering peel and stick flooring in an RV or another small space, I hope this gave you a realistic sense of the prep, the time involved, and what to expect if you want a durable, professional looking finish. This wasn't a fast project, but seeing the new flooring installed made a big difference in the RV. Next up, I'm tackling peel and stick wallpaper in the bathroom. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to check out the other videos in this RV renovation series or my other furniture makeovers.
Oh, comes up so easy. I fear the celebration might have been too early.
By the way, this is not the appropriate footwear. Really? I'm getting better at this. And that becomes my first inside corner. Inside corner. That's wrong, actually. Moving on.